All right, so today we're taking a deep dive into something really, really powerful.
Oh, yeah.
You've brought us the Enchiridion.
By Epictetus.
Yeah, by Epictetus.
It's incredible.
It's incredible.
A guide to navigating life's ups and downs.
Yeah, really a guide to navigating life's ups and downs.
And so relevant.
So relevant, even today.
I mean, just to give folks a little background,
Yeah?
Epictetus was a Stoic philosopher.
Right.
Born into slavery.
Whoa.
In Rome.
That's amazing.
He rose above those circumstances.
Yeah.
And his teachings about finding inner peace and strength,
Right.
they resonate even centuries later.
They totally do.
Powerful ideas.
So where do we even begin
Right.
with this whole rising above life's challenges thing?
Well, he starts by making this really clear distinction
Okay.
between what we can change and what's beyond our control.
Okay.
Our opinions, our goals,
Yeah.
desires, aversions.
Mhm.
These are things we can shape. But our body property reputation, even our social standing,
Right.
those are much more subject to external forces.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
So it's not about being completely detached from the world,
No.
but about recognizing where our true agency is.
Exactly.
So where does that leave us?
Well, this is where it gets really interesting.
Okay.
Epictetus argues that desiring things
Mm-hmm.
outside of our control,
Okay.
that leads to disappointment.
Yeah, frustration.
So if we're always pinning our happiness on things that we can't fully control,
Right.
like a promotion or how many likes we get on social media,
Precise.
we're setting ourselves up for a very bumpy ride.
Right. And he uses this analogy
Okay.
of a ship at anchor.
Oh, I like this.
So imagine you can go ashore
Mm-hmm.
and enjoy finding these truffles.
Okay.
Now, these truffles,
Mm-hmm.
they represent the good things in life.
Okay.
Family, relationships, possessions, things we might cling to.
Got it.
But here's the catch.
Okay.
You need to be ready to let go.
Okay. Of those truffles, the moment the captain calls you back to the ship,
Oh,
you can't get so attached to them
right.
that you become miserable and they're taken away
I see.
because you have no control over when that ship sets sail.
It's a powerful image.
Yeah.
Thinking about like how attached we can get to certain outcomes in our career.
Yeah.
You know, we might pour all of our energy into getting that promotion or landing that dream job.
Right.
But ultimately,
Yeah.
there are so many factors outside of our control that influence that
Exactly.
it seems to be saying, focus on your effort, your growth, your learning.
I got it.
Those are the things we can truly steer.
You've hit the nail on the head.
Okay.
It's about finding this balance
Okay.
between enjoying the good things in life
Yeah.
without letting our happiness depend entirely on them.
Right.
Because change is inevitable.
Absolutely.
Things are going to happen that we don't like,
Mhm.
that we can't control. But Epictetus, he gives us this framework for dealing with that.
Okay, so instead of getting hung up on what we can't control, what should we focus on?
He says
Yeah.
it's not the events themselves
Sure.
that cause us turmoil, but our judgments about them.
So it's not the traffic jam that ruins our day, it's our frustration with it.
Exactly.
That it's a bad thing happening to us.
Yeah, he'd get it.
I've been there.
Road rage.
Road rage is my Achilles heel.
I hear you.
But I see what he's getting at. It's like we have this story in our head
Right.
about how things should be.
Yeah.
And when reality doesn't match up,
Exactly.
we get upset.
He even uses this example of death.
Wow.
He argues that death itself isn't inherently terrible.
Okay.
Like Socrates famously demonstrated,
Right.
facing his own execution with this calm rationality.
Right.
It's our fear of death,
Mm-hmm.
our judgment that it's this horrible, awful thing
Right.
that causes us to suffer.
It's like our minds are creating a problem on top of the actual event.
Yeah.
And if we can learn to see things differently, to change the story we're telling ourselves,
Right.
maybe we can lessen our suffering.
That's the idea.
That's pretty radical.
It is.
It's a powerful reminder that we have so much more control over our inner world than we realize.
Yeah.
So how do we actually go about changing our judgments, shifting our perspective?
Right. So how do we put this into action?
Yeah, I need some practical advice here.
Well, Epictetus, he has some pretty concrete tips.
Okay.
He says before you start any task,
Okay.
take a moment to anticipate the obstacles you might encounter.
It's like a pre-mortem for everyday life.
Exactly.
Interesting.
Imagine you're in ancient Rome
Okay.
and you're headed to the public bathhouse.
Right.
It's going to be crowded, chaotic, probably not very hygienic.
Yeah.
Now, if you walk in there expecting everything to be peaceful and serene,
Right.
you're setting yourself up for disappointment and frustration.
I can relate to that.
Public transportation during rush hour.
Same vibe.
But if you go in having already prepared yourself for the possibility of long lines, noisy neighbors, and maybe even a little grime,
Yeah.
you're much less likely to be thrown off course when those things inevitably happen.
I get that.
Adjusting your expectations.
Yeah.
Building mental resilience.
So if I have a big presentation at work,
Right.
instead of just visualizing everything going perfectly,
Yeah.
I should also mentally rehearse what might go wrong.
Yeah.
Technology, failing, tough questions from the audience.
Exactly.
That way, if those things do happen, I'm not totally thrown off balance.
That's it.
Okay, here's another one.
Okay.
When dealing with loss, instead of saying, I've lost it, try saying, I've restored it.
I've restored it.
That's powerful.
It is.
Reframing.
Yeah. It helps us remember that whatever we've lost, a material possession, a relationship, or even good health,
Yeah.
it was only ever ours temporarily.
Okay.
We were giving it for a time,
Right.
and now it's been returned to the universe.
What?
It's a way of shifting our perspective from scarcity and lack to one of acceptance
Yeah.
and gratitude
Yeah. I love that.
for the time we did have.
It's like acknowledging that everything in life is borrowed in a way.
Mm-hmm.
And instead of feeling bitter or resentful when something's taken away,
Yeah,
we can practice gratitude for the time we had with it.
precisely.
Seeing things from a different angle, reframing our experience.
It is.
I'm definitely going to try using that phrase.
I do too.
Amazing how a simple change in language
Yeah.
can shift our whole way of thinking.
Yeah, it can.
Okay, one more tip.
Okay.
Epictetus encourages us to focus on playing our role well,
Yeah.
whatever life throws our way.
Right.
Think of yourself like an actor in a play.
Mm-hmm.
You don't get to choose the script,
You don't.
but you do get to decide how you play your part.
Yes.
I'm sensing a theme here.
Tell me about it.
It's all about focusing on what we can control.
Yes.
Our thoughts, our actions, our reactions, even when we can't control the circumstances themselves.
That's the essence of it.
You know,
And it's something we can practice every single day.
this is incredibly insightful.
It is.
But let's be real.
Okay.
We're not living in ancient Rome anymore.
We're not.
So how do these ideas apply to the challenges we face in the modern world?
That's what's so incredible about Epictetus.
Okay.
His ideas,
Yeah.
they are timelessly relevant.
Yeah.
And you know, that's actually a perfect segue
Oh, great.
to the next part of our discussion.
Okay, so help us bridge this gap.
All right.
How do these ancient Stoic ideas apply to the challenges, the
Yeah.
very modern, very real challenges we're facing?
Let's start with something I think we can all relate to.
Okay.
That overwhelming feeling
Yeah.
of just being bombarded
Right.
with information constantly.
Oh, yeah.
News, social media, emails.
Oh, tell me about it.
It never stops.
Sometimes I feel like my phone is a direct line
I know.
to global anxiety.
But Epictetus reminds us
Okay.
we have the power to choose
Mm-hmm.
what we consume
Right.
and how we react to it.
So it's not about unplugging entirely,
No.
which, let's face it, is pretty unrealistic for most of us,
Yeah.
but about being more mindful about what we let into our mental space.
Exactly. And this applies to work stress too.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Think about those deadlines. The demanding boss,
Right.
like competitive coworker.
Yeah.
It's easy to feel like
Yeah.
we're at the mercy of these external forces.
Oh, 100%.
Right.
There are days
Yeah.
when I feel like I'm just barely keeping my head above water.
But Epictetus would say,
Okay.
focus on what you can control,
Okay.
your effort, your attitude, your integrity.
Okay.
You can't control the outcome,
Right.
but you can control how you approach the task.
Okay. So it's about shifting our focus
Yeah.
from things like, will I get this promotion?
Right.
Which is ultimately outside of our control,
Mm-hmm.
to, am I bringing my best effort to this project?
Yeah,
Which is something I can directly influence.
precisely. It's about owning our actions,
Yeah.
our efforts,
Right.
recognizing that our self-worth doesn't depend on external validation.
I can see how this could be a powerful antidote
Yeah.
to the comparison game
Oh, yeah.
that social media often fuels.
Big time.
You know,
Yeah.
it's so easy to get caught up
It is.
in comparing ourselves to others,
Absolutely.
their accomplishments,
Mm-hmm.
their seemingly perfect lives.
Yeah. And that's where Stoicism can be so grounding,
Yeah.
reminding us to focus on our own path, our
Yeah.
own growth,
Yeah.
and not get sidetracked by what other people are doing.
So this Stoic philosophy,
Yeah.
it's like a mental toolkit.
Yeah. It does
for
fly.
dealing with the pressures of modern life. It's not about pretending those pressures don't exist,
Yeah.
but about finding a different way to relate to them.
It is.
Yeah.
It's about taking responsibility for our inner world and recognizing our happiness doesn't depend on external circumstances, but on our choices, our perspective.
It's interesting how all of this ties back
I know.
to Epictetus' own life.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, this is a man who was born into slavery.
He did.
A situation where he had very little control over his external circumstances.
Right.
And yet he found a way to cultivate this inner freedom.
That's right.
And resilience.
It's incredible.
Through his philosophy.
Inspiring.
It's a reminder that even in the midst of really challenging circumstances, we always have the power to choose how we respond.
We do.
You know how we make meaning of our experiences. We've covered a lot of ground here.
We have.
We've talked about this core idea, separating what we can and can't control. We've touched on this view of desire.
Right.
And how clinging to things outside of our control can lead to suffering. And we've explored some practical techniques.
Yeah.
He suggests for navigating everyday life from all of this. What stands out to you as the most valuable takeaway?
Well, for me, it's the emphasis on living in accordance with nature.
So finding harmony with the bigger picture.
Exactly.
Even when things feel chaotic on a personal level.
The Stoics believed that nature is inherently rational and orderly. And we humans, as part of nature, should strive to align ourselves with this cosmic reason.
So accepting what we can't change.
Yes.
Focusing on what we can. Our thoughts, our actions, our responses. Recognizing that we're part of something larger than ourselves.
Exactly.
And in doing so, we can find that sense of peace and purpose that Epictetus was talking about, even amidst life's challenges.
Precisely. And it's important to remember, you know, Stoicism isn't about becoming these emotionless robots. Like some people might believe.
There's this misconception. That Stoicism is about suppressing your emotions. You know, just gritting your teeth. Bearing whatever hardship comes your way.
No, it's not that at all. It's about understanding that our emotions are often triggered by our judgments and beliefs.
So by changing our perspective.
Exactly.
We can cultivate a sense of calm. And resilience.
That's right.
Even in the face of adversity.
It's not about denying our emotions, but about mastering them. Learning to observe them, understand them, and ultimately choose how we respond to them rather than letting them control us.
Recognizing the power we have to choose how we experience the world around us.
Exactly.
The Enchiridion is full of these little nuggets of wisdom, you know, that can make a big difference in how we navigate the ups and downs of life.
And remember, Epictetus believed that living philosophically wasn't a one-time event, but a constant practice.
So it's not about achieving this perfect Stoic sagehood overnight, but about incorporating these principles into our daily lives.
Exactly.
Bit by bit.
It's about continuous self-reflection. Challenging our assumptions, habitual reactions, and consciously choosing to align ourselves with that inner strength and wisdom.
That's beautiful. This deep dive has given me so much to think about.
Me too.
And even more to put into practice.
Absolutely.
It's so inspiring to see how these ancient ideas can still be so relevant.
It is amazing.
And helpful in our modern world.
You know, it's a reminder that these timeless truths about human nature and the pursuit of happiness are just as powerful today as they were centuries ago.
So where do we go from here? What can we leave our listener with? As they continue their own exploration of Stoicism and these practical strategies for rising above life's challenges?
Well, Epictetus believed that true wisdom isn't just, you know, about understanding these concepts, but about embodying them.
He was all about walking the walk. Not just talking the talk.
Exactly. So I would challenge our listener to pick just one idea from the Enchiridion that really resonated with them. And try applying it this week.
I love that.
In their life.
Make it like a real world experiment.
Like if you're struggling with anxiety about an upcoming event, try Epictetus's advice of anticipating those obstacles beforehand. And see if it changes how you approach the situation.
Right.
Or the next time you experience a setback, try reframing it.
Yep. With that I've restored it mindset, see if it shifts your perspective.
Those are great examples. Taking these ancient ideas and putting them to the test in our modern lives.
Exactly. See what happens.
Yeah.
You might be surprised by the results.
This whole conversation has been such an eye-opener for me.
Yeah, me too.
I'm walking away with this renewed sense of how much power we actually have over our own experience.
Right.
Even when things feel really chaotic and out of control.
That's the beauty of Stoicism.
It is.
It's empowering.
Yeah.
It gives us tools to navigate the ups and downs of life.
Right.
With more grace and resilience.
Well said. And, speaking of resilience, Epictetus himself was someone who found freedom.
He did.
In the most unlikely of circumstances.
That's right.
Beginning life as a slave.
He did?
He found liberation. Yeah. Not through external changes, but through an internal transformation. Yeah, it's powerful.
That's such a powerful reminder.
It is.
That true freedom is an internal state. It's not something that depends on our external circumstances.
That's right.
And it's something that we can cultivate through practices like the ones we've been talking about today.
Exactly.
Examining our judgments, focusing on what we can control.
Absolutely.
Aligning ourselves with nature.
It's a reminder that we all have the capacity for incredible strength and resilience within us.
Well, I think that's a perfect note to end on.
I agree.
Huge thank you to you for helping us dive deep into the wisdom of Epictetus.
My pleasure.
And for exploring these timeless strategies for rising above life's challenges.
Of course.
And to our listener, we hope this deep dive has given you some practical tools.
I hope so.
And a fresh perspective on how to navigate those inevitable ups and downs of life.
Absolutely.
Remember, it's not about becoming a perfect Stoic sage overnight.
No.
It's about taking small steps.
That's right.
Practicing these principles day by day.
Exactly.
And discovering the freedom and the resilience that lie within you.
Well said.
Until next time, keep diving deep and keep exploring.